What's up, guys? Welcome to Total Football. I'm Ahmed Osman and welcome to our Confederations Cup preview. With me is Mr. Liam Hyslop from stuff.co.nz and of course a man who needs no introduction, Mr. Ben Sigmund. Welcome, guys, and thank you very much for joining us. How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah? Very good?
Very good. Looking forward to this game on Sunday. So it's been a bit of a sort of stilted build-up for the All Whites, so I'm sort of apprehensive about how things might go for them this week.
What about you, Ben? I mean, are you looking forward to the tournament?
Yeah, I think the players should be excited because it's against Russia in their home country, you know, and I think the atmosphere at the game is just going to be unbelievable, and for some of these young players it's going to be probably the biggest game they've ever played in.
Obviously the team didn't have such a good build-up, especially against Belarus a few days ago, which they went down 1-0. What did you guys take away from the game?
Yeah, I mean, Belarus was probably a little bit disappointing for them, I'd say. I mean, Anthony Hudson, the coach, said as much. They struggled a bit on attack and going forward, and only had about 3 shots, maybe 2 on target at the most, and that was sort of a concern for them is how are they sort of approaching these games at the Confederations Cup? Are they going there to win games, or are they going there to not lose games? And at this stage from the friendlies, you'd say they're going there to not lose games.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think they're holding it on to a little bit, you know, like Chris Wood, you know, especially. He needs to be bigger and stronger and hold on to the ball and look after it a little bit more. I just kind of felt like, you know, he's letting, you know, the defenders take that ball off him a little bit easy. And, you know, come, you know, this weekend, I think he'll step up, and, you know, he does it week in, week out with his club team, Leeds. He's fantastic at it. I just think he needs to do that a little bit more for his country now, and I'm sure he will.
But was the midfield supporting him enough to be able for him to hold it up and create those runs off for them?
Yeah, I think it's about him holding it up first to allow the midfield to sort of get up to him. I mean, they've got their way they're going to play it. It is going to be a long ball sort of game, and that is built around Chris Wood being able to hold those defenders off as people sees, and he has to be able to be strong up there because Russia are going to have some big bodies on him, and he has to be able to hold it up, wait for his support to come, and then lay it off to them. If he's unable to do that, then they're going to really struggle against Russia.
Second half, in the Irish game, they played really well. Do you think they're creating enough chances?
I think the first half against the Irish was probably really poor from New Zealand standards, and they got really dominated, really, didn't they, you know? And so I think the second half they came out and got a lot of pride back. But, you know, I think New Zealand teams are always only going to have a few chances, and we've probably got to score those chances. If we defend well, you know, like the World Cup, I know we're going back a bit, but, you know, we didn't concede very many goals, you know, but we still scored a few. And so if we're so super tight at the back, we still will have opportunities to score goals.
Yeah. I suppose in that Belarus game, if Chris Wood gets on the end of that cross in the second minute, then we're talking about something different. They're 1-0 up there, and if they're defending for a 1-0 win, then you know, we're having a different conversation now probably, and we're probably quite impressed with how professional their performance was. Yeah. So it's a matter of context, and it's a matter of those little moments in the game which you have to really make sure you put them away.
Obviously, Anthony Hudson has had enough time with the All Whites.
He has to have by now.
Do you think that he should have an attacking idea of exactly what the team needs to do to be able to score those goals?
Well, it's a matter of what you're trying to do, and it's a matter of the tools you have at your disposal as well. So he knows the tools he has, and he's set them up to play in a certain way, which is to be very organised, well drilled, and very defensively sound. And if they can break, and they try and break quickly, and they try and break through Chris Wood, then they're going to score 1 or 2. This isn't a team which is going to go out and win 4-0 against Russia. They're going to score more than 1 or 2 goals in a game. So that's just how they're done. And they've set up in a 3-5-2, which is really a flat 5 when they're under the pump. So they're not set up to be a very attacking team, but it's about, as we say, making the most of those moments where they do get in front of the goal, and you've really got to put those chances away.
Yeah, and I still think, you know, you still hear him talking about it, and that they want to work hard, they want to press high, they want to put a lot of pressure on the other team, you know. They probably haven't done that in the last few friendly games. So my question will be is, how are they going to set up against Russia? You know, are they going to come out and have that high press, high energy, shutting them down, giving them no time on the ball, or are they going to come out and be a little bit more, you know, sort of sit back a little bit, you know,
and play on the attack.
So that will be my question, and I think if he doesn't press and go and attack and really put a lot of pressure on Russia, I think he's changed his game plan from what he set out to do when he first arrived.
Yes, and he's also changing what he's been saying. He's still saying we're going to go out and press. So that's the frustration people have with Hudson, I think, is that he says he's going to do this, and then they go out and do something completely different. He says they're going to press, they don't press. He says they're going to try and dominate games, and as they tried to against Fiji back in March, and they didn't really dominate games over there. So it's a matter of what you say and what you do is a different thing, and that causes frustration for people.
Yeah, but I think that the players have also got to take a bit of responsibility as well. Yep. You know, we sit there and we if that's what Hudson's saying, then why aren't the players doing it? You know, and sometimes we sit there and everyone blames the coach now, and they says he's not doing this and he's not doing that, but sometimes the players have got to take responsibility. And yes, it's going to be hard, and yes, you're going to be tired, and you're going to have 70,000 fans screaming, but you've just got to dig deep sometimes.
So what do they need to do going into Russia?
Yeah, that's the great question, isn't it? It depends how Russia are going to set up as well. I mean, they've been sort of experimenting with their formations. I think from what I've seen, they've played a 3-5-2 at times, which New Zealand have struggled against their last two games against Northern Ireland and Belarus. So it's a matter of, they're going to have to come out, and as Ben says, they're probably going to have to come and press. They're going to have to try and win the ball high up the field, and that's how they're going to try and score a goal. And if they get an early goal, then they're going to have to just defend their socks off. It's not going to be easy, because Russia they might be supposedly one of the lower ranked teams at the tournament, but they're at home, and they're really going to be under a lot of pressure to perform, and they're going to come out all guns blazing.
In terms of your experience, what mind frame do you go into preparing for these sort of games?
Just, we're going to win, we're going to play the best we possibly can, and for me it was always about doing my country proud, you know, and coming off, and that's why maybe everyone could sort of relate to me, because they could see every time Ben Sigmund went out and played for his country, he gave it his best. We might not have won, but he certainly did all he could for the jersey. And I think technically we've got better players than we ever had at the World Cup in 2010. Marco, Costa, all those guys.
Ryan Thomas, those sorts of players.
Those guys are way better technically and get the game way better and probably playing at a higher level. But my challenge to them is how much does the shirt mean?
Mm.
So Russia, if I asked you both now to give me a prediction.
I haven't actually thought about this. I would say 2-0 to Russia.
2-0 to Russia.
Yeah.
Ben?
Mate, I'm a real staunch Kiwi fan. Eh? This is like, I would like to say like 1-1.
1-0.
But and as you say, I think Russia will, if I'm honest, will win 3-1 or 2-0, as you say. But I'm still backing the Kiwi boys, eh?
Well, I want to say a massive thank you guys for joining me today on Total Football. It's been a pleasure to have you, Ben. Thanks very much, Liam. See you next week. And I want to say a big thank you to you guys for joining us. I also want to give a massive thanks to Jack Hackett for having us and allowing us to film here. If you liked the video, be sure to click the like button and subscribe to our channel. Catch you next time.